Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. I've been suffering the last couple of days with a little bit of heat stroke. We took the dogs out for some epic walks over the weekend. I caught a little bit too much sunshine. Those of you that are from outside the UK, when it says 25 degrees and the Brits are all complaining, it's because we have rainforest levels of humidity. So if you don't stay on top of drinking lots of water, it's not necessarily the sunshine that gets you, it's more of the heat. And when my husband's recovering from shoulder surgery, I decided after coming back from an extremely long walk that I was going to sit out in the garden, build a bird bath and a fire pit. And by the time I was done doing that, because I don't have a lot of experience in doing things like that, because I normally get my husband to do it, I was somewhat crispy on the back and it just kicked the crap out of me for a couple of days. So I've been very, very unwell. It's almost like having the flu. But unpleasant experiences aside, let's talk about something that was more fun. I went to Royal Ascot last week. I was invited with my friend Amber to attend Lady C's picnic, and then we also went to the races, which was a whole experience. It started off in the morning. I met with Amber, we went to the hairdressers, we got ready together, we had some lovely photographs taken by her mother Michelle in the garden, and that was part of the fun. Their temperature was increasing by the second, and by the time we got to Lady C's picnic we were already extremely hot, and it was quite a walk from where we had managed to get dropped off. Meeting lots of people, Lady C's friends, was lovely. I'd met some of them previously at the ball that I attended again with Amber last year, and when we went into the races we had missed the royal procession because we were at the picnic, but it was so busy in there and so hot. We spent most of our time just walking from one place to the next, saying hello to a few people but trying to get into the shade and to sit down. So I met amazing people. I saw lots of really cool fashion there, but I didn't take as many photographs as I would like because it felt rude and it felt like it's not the sort of thing you do. Even though I did see a couple of celebrities, and I'm pretty certain one of them was Colin Firth, most of them walk past you. It's so fleeting, it's so quick. My brain's just not that quick. I know that I know them, but I can't think where, and then they're gone into the crowds. But the experience on the whole was amazing. Would I go again? I'm not so sure. It might be just because it was the extreme temperatures, but one of my favourite moments was I actually got to meet some of the royal horses that were involved with the carriage procession, and they were pouring buckets of water over the horses. That's how hot it was, as the footsmen and the royal horsemen were down in bottles of water to stay hydrated themselves. But yes, on the whole, it was very, very cool. I even put a flutter on the horses. I'm not a gambler myself, but as they say, when in Rome. Now, as for members of the royal family attending, Royal Ascot runs for the full week. We saw the King and Queen, we saw Prince William, we saw Mike and Zara, Princesses Eugenie and Beatrice, we saw Sarah, Duchess of York. Everybody was there, and did I get to see some fabulous royal fashions? Yes, mainly on Twitter, admittedly, rather than seeing it with my own eyes. Can we just talk about this outfit by Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh? I love the shape of it. I love those colours on her. She looked so beautiful in this one. And two of my most favourite outfits that one member of the royal family wore was Princess Eugenie. She looked amazing. She looked really beautiful. The style, the colour, the fit, the flow of the whole outfits. She looked incredible on both days. Both Princess Eugenie and Beatrice's fashions, I've said this before, have definitely improved with motherhood, with marriage. Perhaps it's a little bit of, well, with Beatrice, the Italian influence coming in from Edo's side, but obviously Fergie, Duchess of York, she's always been very eccentric with her fashions, and I guess the girls were just following in their mother's footsteps. Sometimes they got it right, sometimes they got it oh so very wrong, but the more I see of them now as they're older, the more of their dresses and their outfits I love. But yes, Princess Eugenie looked rather lovely. King Charles was more than welcoming to his niece and her mother in a couple of photographs that were released, and I think it's becoming more apparent that Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie are definitely in the royal fold, and I can imagine they will be taking up some sort of royal roles in the future. As I've said many times before, The older royals are getting to the point where they are stepping back. Retirement is definitely on the horizon for them, and they need younger feet on the ground. But interestingly, it's not just Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie who I think are being eyed up for royal future roles, because Zara Tindall, Princess Anne's daughter, she took up a very prominent role that her late grandmother Queen Elizabeth II held, and this is handing over the trophy to the winners of the Royal Windsor Polo Cup final, which happened just as Ascot had finished. The event is one of the top 5 polo tournaments around the world. It's held at the Guards Polo Club, which was established in 1955 by Zara's grandfather, the late Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip, who became the club's first president until the King took over the role last year. Zara is the perfect fit for such a role, given that she's an Olympic equestrian, she's won different championships. It's very clearly obvious, like lots of other members of the royal family, there is such a love and a passion for horses. And interestingly, I read this morning that Prince William may be considering Zara for other roles regarding equestrian events, such as Royal Ascot. Prince William loves horses, and he loves playing in charity polo matches, which often make millions for various causes close to his heart. But I think that's more of the thing with William. He doesn't see attending Royal Ascot as something that would be a priority when he's got so many other important things, life-changing things, some of them, on the horizon. Obviously, all of the works that he does for animal conservation, for conservation in general, for the Earthshot Prize, for tackling homelessness, improving the lives of the people that live on the Duchy of Cornwall estates. Prince William has said many a time he just wants to make changes. He wants to actually use his platform and his title and his role in the royal family to bring about definite change for the greater good. So getting one of his cousins to attend certain events such as Royal Ascot in his place, I can see that story having a smidgen of truth to it. Now, obviously, a lot of these stories that come out in mainstream media are speculation at this moment, because this is more talking about with Prince William's reign. But as we know, King Charles is doing quite well, and I hope that we have the king for as many years as possible. But everybody now keeps talking about the royal roles, and I can see Princesses Eugenie and Beatrice taking up roles alongside Zara, and hopefully Mike Tindall as well. I think that those two would be great at any sort of sporting events. As a couple, they are a bit of a royal power couple without being actual working royals. They're funny. People like them. They watch them on TV. They listen to their podcasts. They find them genuinely interesting. And of course, they are fun and down to earth. It would help attract a different sort of audience, especially when it comes to certain sporting events. It's a real shame that Harry was allowed to take the Invictus Games away from the royal umbrella when Megxit happened. It seems that became part of their divorce deal. You only have to look at the shift of the coverage of the Invictus Games from when Harry and Meghan left. It has very much become the Meghan and Harry show. Meghan used the most recent Invictus Games to prove that her marriage was better than ever as she cuddled and canoodled and kissed her husband on camera, thus making sure that the majority of the coverage was about Harry and Meghan. We know that Meghan has given press releases of the fashions and the jewellery that she's wearing, so she's using the Games as a platform to merch every time she appears. That's why she's never seen wearing anything really twice. Harry has supported this, but it's very sad to see the shift away from the veterans. And I think having someone like Mike and Zara, if they could have fronted it or have been part of it, I think that would have definitely worked in a positive for the Games. Now, as for the Invictus Games, which is coming to Birmingham in 2027, this is where Harry has offered an apparent olive branch to his family, but I believe it is more of a little bomb in their direction. The reason I say this is because it has been announced through the media, a few certain chosen outlets, of course, that Harry wishes his family to attend because he wants to have a reconciliation and he thinks the Invictus Games would be perfect for it. Yes, he probably does, because it will then, I would guess, give Harry that association that he is back in the royal fold somehow. It's all about money. It's all about marketing. He cannot be trusted by members of his family. But this is where I say it's definitely not an olive branch, because it also allows one thing. Harry and his chosen outlets can now manipulate it and say, but the king is the head of the armed forces. How could he not go and honour the veterans? That shows how awful the royal family truly are, that they're going to let their feud with Harry let down all of these veterans. And you know that's exactly the way that the media will spin it, and Harry and his team will spin it. Harry offered an olive branch, but his family are still bitter and angry towards him that they turned it down. I'm sorry, I can see straight through this. It was only a few weeks ago that Harry was telling the BBC that his family were in a plot with the royal household to endanger his life and that of his wife and his children, and he made a point to say, the king's grandchildren, if anything happened to them, you'd have to really look at who's at fault. That was Harry basically saying that members of my family were involved in the decision to strip security away from us, putting our lives in danger to force us back into the royal fold. That's his delusions of late. And yet he's saying in the next breath, I want my family to reconcile. My father won't speak to me. Oh, by the way, I've got no idea how long my father has left to live. He knew exactly what he was doing when he did that. It caused an unwelcome media storm to do with the king's health. Does Harry know something that we don't? Is the king terminal? Is his cancer far worse? And I thought, you spiteful, nasty little shit doing that to the king. He's got enough things going on, and Harry is still throwing barbs at his father. So of course, not only did he accuse his father of being part of the decision to strip his security, saying the royal household want him to die just like his mother did, and his wife and his children, and then he also turned around and said, you know, my father's possibly not got long to live. I don't know. Those things did not go down well at the palace. Now the week of the games actually falls on Queen Camilla's 80th birthday. Now, do I think that Harry might have been deliberate in choosing those dates? Yes, I do. I think that Harry, I can almost envision him. I can see him sitting there going, no, sorry, the only dates that I've got in my diary free are these dates. The games have to be held this week, as he smirks to himself, trying to ruin his evil, wicked stepmother's birthday. This is going to backfire on him, because there will be lots of celebrations for Queen Camilla's 80th birthday. And you've also got the fact that the royal family have got the perfect reasoning to not go to the games, which Harry hasn't really thought about. Whilst Harry and Meghan are more than happy to make the games about them, their relationship, for Meghan to take centre stage and to basically take a lot of attention away from the veterans themselves and the games, the royal family do not play like that. The whole reason why it never would have worked with Meghan being a member of the royal family is she thinks that she should take centre stage. The royal family always put other people in the centre stage, and they use their platform to draw attention to said stage. The royal family will understand the importance of them not going to ensure that all of the coverage will remain where it should be, and that's on the veterans, their stories, the games, their families, and not on the royal family fallout. You know that if any members of the royal family go to that event, there will be an abundance of lip readers, there will be body language experts, there will be people constantly dissecting every single word that they say, every look that they might give each other. The mainstream media will deliberately jump on any photograph that they can turn into a story to do with the royal family feud. It will be a media storm all to do with them. And that's not what they're about, and certainly nothing that they would want to be part of. I don't think any of them would give Harry a second chance. As I said, it was only weeks ago that he did a BBC interview trashing his family yet again and accusing them of pretty horrific accusations of wanting him dead. How could any of them ever truly trust Harry ever again after everything that he's done, let alone sit at his event and pretend that the last 6 years of abuse hadn't happened? I think he deliberately did the public announcement saying that he wants a reconciliation, he wants them to come to the Invictus Games purely so he could have another victim narrative in place. Harry has no problem including using his own children, let alone the Invictus Games, to score more cheap shots at his family. He is not offering an olive branch. Harry does not want peace. Harry still wants war, and he's been fighting it one-sided, and he's doing things like this to force his family to engage with him. And they will continue to do what they have done throughout this, and that is never complain, never explain, and cut off his oxygen. This is why Harry is now resorting to such tactics as the BBC interview, using his children, and now, of course, now opening an invite, offering an invite publicly through the media for his family to attend for a reconciliation. It's all one big game of warfare, and the royals are just not going to engage. So guys, that's it for me on this video. I will be back with you tomorrow because we need to talk about the one-trick pony that is Meghan Markle and her As Ever brand. Take care for now. See you soon. Bye.